So let's take a look at the teacher dashboard in Superkids. When you come in, we're going to take a look at the lessons portion right now. When you click on lessons, you have lesson page and the 5-day planner. When you move here, you will notice that it says the unit number. You can change that by clicking on any of the units here. You can also change the lesson number for that unit. It's important to keep this updated because this is how the games that children are able to engage in in the Super Kids Online Fun is they're only able to engage in the games that you have identified that you have released by keeping this updated. So when you are actually in here, you'll notice that what it has is it'll walk you through all of the portions that you could show on your whiteboard or your smartboard. You will also be able to click on download lesson. And when you do that, you will get the lesson plan for the day. So if you needed to share that with someone, you could. Um, when you click on here, this is the daily routines. It'll walk you through all of the items that are available. So it can have them, like this is going to be phonemic awareness, so it's going to have some sounds. I'm able to then move over here and go to the next thing, and it'll just kind of keep going through these. You don't have to use them, but they're there if you choose to use them. Then for the first follow the star, the first learning activity, we would be able to use this decodable that it's showing, and I can project this on the board if I wanted to, or on my screen if I teach virtually. When I come here, you're going to be able to see everything for that lesson. And so you can see that it's here, just like that. And then I'm able to just kind of click and move through them. So this is kind of how what you're able to show when you are learning with your students. Okay, so now that we are in the actual lesson, I'm going to show you, there's a 5-day planner that you're able to use. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a week's worth of plans in order, and it'll show you kind of with the objectives. It's what it's going to show you there. And you can put the week and the lesson that you're on and show how many days you want, and it'll just plan it out for you. I don't really find these to be terribly helpful, but you can use them if you want to as your lesson plans. So now there's another section called materials, and this is where you're going to find most of the online materials that you have in print. So here in the kindergarten, you're going to notice that your alphabet cards are here. When you click on it, you have each card individually plus the long vowel cards once you get there. You have the assessments. You do have a Blackline Master in your box, but you also have them available here, and they have the class record forms also that you can use, and the student record forms. The directions and the test are all available here for you as well. You have this big book of blending. This is not actually in your box. This is online only. It's just additional words for each unit that you can get and be able to provide on the board or in small groups or even in centers for children to be able to practice reading. Once we've done the big book of blending, we have the daily routines. In kindergarten, they have these daily routines, and if you only want to use this because you're not going to go into the whole lessons, you can just click into each lesson's daily routines simply by just clicking here, and it'll take you straight to just the daily routines for the day. Let's say you do your daily routines at a different part of the day. Here you can print out the decodable books for each unit. That's going to be available. You'll also notice that family letters are provided here in the kindergarten in Unit 5 once they start to get actual decoding books, because in kindergarten they start with wordless books and they have a letter here as well. They also have student reading logs for your use, where children can be writing down the book that they have read and kind of uses emoji evaluation. So that is what they have for decodable books. They have this, there's a portion of your teacher's guide, it's purple, it's called differentiated instruction. Those same activities are actually here. Your ice cream paper that if you run out, you can rent copies. They are right here. This is the instructional overview where I've been getting the excerpts that we've been using in this course. Now, there are additional activities that we're going to talk about, and those activities are called, that some of them are interactive whiteboard activities. And so they are here for each unit. In addition, these are meant to be used as a whole group or even in a small group, but you would project them onto your smartboard. The instructions, you click on that and tells you what you're going to do. And typically these are movable and they're supposed to be following some direction. Um, this is not always helpful for some of my virtual teachers or even some of my in-person teachers. So I've turned all of these activities into Seesaw activities for you. And those are listed on your IPG. And then we have the practice pages. These are actually as Blackline Masters in your box, but you can print them out here. The skills book. So if your child has lost their skills book, you're able to print out additional copies for them here. And then sometimes you just want to play the song animations themselves, and those songs are here with the animation or just the MP3, just the song as the background. Now that's the materials part, and then we have some resources here. Some of the first things I want to show you is this letter formation guide. You do have this in your teacher kit, but it's also available here. There's some family letters that you can send home about how to use wordless books and how to use decodable books. But some other things that you might be interested in is they have like once ideas for how to do blending practice. And so this is just a kind of a procedure for teachers who are not quite used to teaching phonics this way. It gives you the letter combinations, words that you can use for each of the units after you've taught them. And it's kind of showing you how you can do the blending in your instruction. You can use that in small groups. That would be helpful. There's this wonderful little letter that you can send home called Building a Super Reader. It's really good for you to be able to give to parents. This is available in the kindergarten. There's Common Core and state standards. Ours is not in here. Dolch words. We are using the Dolch, and this is for kindergartens. They do actually have to read a certain amount. And so this is where what we are using. They actually are exposed to 66 words in kindergarten that are Dolch words. Not all of them are taught as memory words. Only 12 of them are, the red ones. But you can see there's a lot of other actual Dolch words that children are learning to read. As long as they are able to read 25 of these, they are meeting the kindergarten standard or the TEAC. In first grade, then you see here all of the Dolch words and the red become your memory words, and there's a lot more. So these are all of the words that are taught in Superkids. You also have the family letters. There's an index if you really are into indexes. This one is a really nice little one. It's called letter sound reinforcement. And so you have this sound chart that you're able to give to students with the letter, and then they have pictures that kind of remind them of the sound. That's a useful tool. There's this actions kind of statement that you can give. You can actually do actions for reinforcing those letter sounds. So that's a useful tool as well. Plus they have these whole short vowel desktop cards that you can kind of give to children or put in offices or tape to their desk, whatever you do in a folder that kind of associates the Superkids that goes with it. So that is there. Other things you have, the word memory cards are available for you. The phoneme pronunciation guide. This tells you how to say each of the sounds, particularly some sounds are different than we thought. Like for example, this R, we don't want to say or ruh. We don't want to add that vowel sound. So we just want to say ruh, 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 like in rip. And you can hear it here if you needed to. But this is useful if you're just becoming familiar with how to teach some of the sounds. This is good PD for you. You have Superkids clip art if you want to like make your own little presentations. There's a Superkids little certificate if you want to give that out. Sing along resources for each of the actual units. They have piano and vocal and guitar, and they have an instrumental version also of all of the songs that are sung. So just a little FYI. You can get the font here and how to download that font if you wanted to use it. The teacher word lists, these are all of the words that are going to be used for decoding, encoding, handwriting, and everything in that unit. So by units, they have them here for you. So you have lots of resources for gathering words to give to children to practice. And then the last thing you'll see here is the unit planners. First grade, we're going to move over to yours. And when you come into your materials, you too have the alphabet cards, the assessments, daily routines, decodable books, differential instruction. Your ice cream paper looks different. So they have this here with a little space for a picture. You do have some interactive whiteboard activities that you're able to utilize here. Practice pages, skills books for those who lose their books, animations, and what you have that's new for first grade is these activity pages for games. And these are really good for partners or small groups that you can use in small groups. They're just games for additional practice. You can also put them into cardstock, laminate them, and put them into centers. So fishing games, monster games, and they have one for each of the units. So that is available for you as well. Um, then we have down here these practice pages I think we went through, and then the practice pages, the resource pages here, and these are reproducible vocabulary lessons that you can use, and so that is here for you as well. We have the sound spelling cards that you actually get. Kindergarten doesn't have these yet, so this is when y'all start to introduce them. So those are available here, plus your memory cards. So that's what you have under the materials. And under resources, you have the super reader, the standards, the Dolch words, the index, the formation guide, the same kind of letter sound reinforcement. You also now have the memory word cards. Here's that phoneme pronunciation guide. Reading warm-up list with all those ones for your decodables, the skills and objectives. And what we add is the spelling list starting in first grade. Kindergarten, you do not have spelling tests. That is not a part of the curriculum. It's not appropriate. But in first grade, they do start to do spelling tests. And so here are like the unit spelling lists that you're able to kind of send home. So that is available for you in here. You also have a certificate and clip art and the font, the word lists, and your unit planners. These unit planners are for each unit, and I really like to use these. This is what I like to use um, for my lesson plans. This is actually what I would put in my lesson plan, is just use this. I would just copy this out and put it into my lesson plan because this lists out what it is that I'm actually going to be doing. So that's what you have in the first grade. And when I moved to second grade, under materials, you have the same stuff, the assessments, your backpack pages, which is your homework. You have the daily routines, the decodable books, the differentiated instruction, and you're getting these fluency practice pages as well that children are able to read for each of the units. You'll notice that every unit, week 1 is a literary and week 2 is an informational. These are provided for you on Seesaw so that students are able to do that. You have ice cream paper as well that you're able to print out, and it is a full page. You have instructional overviews, whiteboard activities that you can use, practice pages, the skills books, your sound spelling cards, the Superkids own web page. And so now you have these little web pages for the Superkids that you're able to kind of share with them and talk about. It's kind of a cute little, activity that kids can you can share with kids. And then you've got the word cards. Under resources, you have some of the same information that the other ones did. You'll just notice that you don't have how to build a super reader as that letter. So if you're wanting to send that home, I would get together with one of your first grade teachers or your kindergarten teachers and talk to them about getting that super kids or getting that letter because that's only available in kindergarten first for some reason. So that's that. You also have a My Class setup. Unfortunately, I don't have access to this. There will be a separate training on how to use your class roster, but you are manually adding students. Currently, we're not adding them for you. They have this whole little informational video on the reports that are available for you. Online fun. This is going to be how children are able to kind of access. This is that desktop, and you'll just drag it onto the desktop. There's a whole other thing that they need to use for their iPads. So if you need, we'll have a separate training on that at a later time. There's a parent portal that parents are able to get to, and here's that video, and then what you do to set it up. And then here you have another video on how to manage your settings. And so that is going to be here for you as well. There is a help section. So if you need any help, they have it here. Plus there is a user's guide available to you as well. So that is a look at your teacher dashboard, your My Class and your lessons, and the materials is probably where you'll spend a lot of time. So why don't you spend a little bit of time exploring your dashboard if you haven't already and kind of get used to it.